Hi guys, Dominic Balli here. As you know, I had a really hard couple of years, and during that season, I wrote a bunch of music. Wasn't sure if I was going to share any of that music, but that music ended up being tools to kind of get me to a place of real healing, and were really important in my journey. And I'm hoping they will be in some other people's also. And so, as promised, I'm releasing one of those songs every month, starting this month with a song called Buck the System. And wanted to give you guys, people who are on my mailing list, a little bit of behind the scenes, kind of behind the song with this particular song. Like I said, the title's called Buck the System. And the system is, it's this social order, right? It's the way that we do everything. It's a set of unsaid rules that tells us this is how we do what we do. But at some point, I started realizing, man, maybe parts of our system aren't working so well. For instance, let's talk about this part where our fourth baby is born, Nehemiah, and after a day he dies. And I'm going through all the pain and grieving of that. And then all this other stuff happens that same year. I barely survive it. And when I sit down to try to write songs about my experiences, because the system has created this set of rules for how I should have reacted and how I'm supposed to be processing all of this, and because my experience at the time doesn't line up with what the system says I should be feeling and how I should be processing, the things I should be saying, the things I should be thinking, the way I should be looking at it, they don't line up. I'm feeling paralyzed, dude, I can't write about my own life because my experience doesn't line up with this system of this polished, cute little fantasy land or whatever. I felt like there was a need, a pressure rather, to have everything kind of resolved, and the reality was that my life was not resolved. I felt like people were expecting me to say, hey, life sucks, but everything's gonna be all right. God is good, etc. And those things are probably true, but here's where we miss it sometimes. Sometimes in order to get to that place where everything is good and we're like, man, God is in control and he's good and all of that stuff, there's a process. There is often a journey, a road to get there. But we say, yeah, I don't want to hear about that part. Talk to me when you're on the other side of that journey, once you've kind of arrived and everything's good. And if we do want to talk about it, at least don't want to hear a song about it, at least not a Dominic Balli song about it. I'm expecting stuff to be kind of resolved, and hey, just give me some I don't want to hear about all the gritty, dirty journey part. At least that's the pressure that I felt. And then we just kind of pretend the grittiness doesn't exist, but it does exist. And honestly, it's along that gritty, dirty road where sometimes you find the deepest truth and the deepest healing. And I think that oftentimes that journey is the destination. And we need to give each other permission to be on that journey, to be on that road. And it honestly breaks my heart that so often we don't with each other. And so for me, this was a breaking free. This song was a breaking free for me when I was dude, forget this. Forget the system. I don't need the system to tell me how I'm supposed to process and deal with the ugly parts of my life. I'm going to walk through the journey. I'm going to write songs along the way, and I'm going to let that be what it is. And hopefully, I'll come out on the other side better for it. And thank God I did. I did come out on the other side better for it. And I believe I'm better because of the journey. I don't want to just live or sing songs from a place of pretend packaged fantasy land where everything is fine. I want to live in reality where sometimes it's raw and gritty and imperfect, but where it's also really beautiful and really full of life and colorful. That's where I want to live from. So that's what the song's about. I hope you love it. If you do love it, I'd be super thankful if you'd support by buying it on iTunes. Otherwise, you can stream it on YouTube. Love you guys. Thankful for you. Peace.